What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to answer the question, what are Leave No Trace principles? If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeremiah Stringer, and here we talk about all things hiking and backpacking. So if you love hitting the trail, consider subscribing. Now, the reason that I'm making this video is because I've seen a lot of people be really toxic and just attack each other when it comes to Leave No Trace. You have a group of people who they've never even heard of Leave No Trace, and I don't care whose fault that is. The point is, we need to show some compassion and educate those people instead of just attacking them about something that they may not care about or they may have never heard of. So let's get into the video. There's actually a total of 7 Leave No Trace principles that we're going to go through, and if you're wondering where I'm getting my information from, I'll leave in the description below the website lnt.org. Of course, it stands for Leave No Trace, and it's a great reference. So the first principle for Leave No Trace would be to plan and prepare ahead of time. You want to know what your route's going to be, and you want to prepare for extreme weather conditions that could be in the area that you may be traveling to. Also, know the regulations of the area that you're going to be in. So, for instance, if you're not allowed to make a fire in that area, you probably shouldn't make a fire in that area. Leave No Trace principle 2 would be you want to travel and camp on durable surfaces. Now, keep in mind, every environment we know is going to be different depending on where you go. If we're talking about travel, of course, stay on established trails. Now, a few things to keep in mind on your camp. Try to stay in an established campsite, but if you're like me and you're out on the trail and you have to kind of decide a place where you're going to set up for camp, you want to try to find a good campsite. Good campsites are found, they're not made. Another thing to keep in mind would be you want to try to protect the riparian areas. If you don't know what that is, without being too technical, there's 15 different biomes that we could talk about, and one of them would be riparian, and that would kind of be the area in between land and the water source, maybe a lake or a stream. So you don't want to camp on top of those. So try to camp 200 feet away from a body of water and 200 feet away from the trail. Number 3 is dispose of waste properly. So this is kind of 2 things that we're talking about. First of all, you're going to pack stuff in, like food that's in wrappers or just gear in general. Whatever you pack in, no excuses, you need to pack that back out. And the second thing would be human waste. Okay, you're eating, of course your body's going to produce waste. Whenever you got to do your business, at least go 200 feet from a water source or from the trail to do your business. You want to dig a cat hole that's 6 to 8 inches deep, and then once you get done, cover that back up. And the last thing is kind of controversial. Some people like to wash dishes or clothes or whatever while they're out backpacking. Personally, I don't ever do this, but if you are, you want to bring biodegradable soap. Okay, so if that's going to be you, take water from the water source, go 200 feet away or more from that water source, wash your clothes or wash your dishes or whatever you got with that biodegradable soap. Use a small amount, and then once you get done, you want to stay away from the water source and kind of scatter that water around that area that you're in instead of just pouring it all down in one place. Number 4 is super short, super simple. Whatever's in the environment you're in, leave it there. What's going to happen is that'll help avoid kind of transporting and transplanting non-native species in different environments. Number 5 is to minimize campfires. Now, to be honest with you, this is what kind of made me pull the trigger about making this video. This Facebook group that I'm in, some people took this big trip and a whole group went out and basically they cut down some live wood, which I absolutely think that you should never do. Don't cut live wood. If you are going to make a fire, that's fine. Okay, you want to make sure it's small, make sure it's controlled. I actually would avoid using fire as my main source of cooking. I always go with like a small little stove. But if you are going to make a fire, the only wood you should burn is dead wood and stuff that you can just break by hand. Number 6 is respecting wildlife. Now, one of the most amazing things about being out on trail and experiencing nature is being witness to that wildlife. I absolutely love it. But you need to respect it and observe it from a distance. So never under any circumstances do you want to approach whatever wildlife we're talking about, nor do you ever want to feed it. Okay, let's talk specifically about bears for just a couple of seconds. First thing, when it comes to bears, never feed them. What's going to happen is they'll start associating food with humans. And I don't know about you, but I'll speak for myself here. Never under any circumstances do I want a bear thinking about food whenever I'm around it. Okay, when it sees me, I want it to think, oh, this is foreign, I need to run away. Okay, second thing about bears, if you're in bear country, make sure you're either one, using a bear canister, depending on the regulations in the area, or two, you need to hang your bear bag. Dixie over at Homemade Wanderlust, I'll link a video she done recently in the description. She done a video on 3 different ways to hang your bear bag. So find what way works best for you, but make sure you're storing your food properly. And number 7 boils down to, we're all human beings. So you want to be courteous and respectful of other people because they're out there for the same reason you are. They want to go out and have fun and experience life out in nature. Okay, so make sure you are courteous, and you can do that different ways. Okay, first thing I see is people create noise pollution. Now, talking's fine, but I'm not a big fan of going out and blaring music while out on trail. Okay, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to other people. Even though you may enjoy it, they may hate it. Okay. Secondly, if I'm going to camp, I'm going to camp away from other people. Okay. The last thing I want is to be camped right up next to somebody and then I can't sleep or they can't sleep because there's noise going on. Other things, not just noise, is, depending on what the situation is, somebody has to yield to each other while out on trail. So what I do is, if it's up a hill, whoever's going up the hill has the right of way. Downhill, you'll just kind of step aside. Okay, be courteous and considerate to others, guys. We're all here on this planet together. So I've done my best to explain all 7 principles, but I may have left something out or not made a very important point. So what I want you to do now is go down in the comments and leave me a comment on anything that I have forgotten or anything I told you wrong. Okay, let's have a great conversation about leave no trace. And let's be honest, you liked the video, right? You liked it, come on. Smash that like button. If you enjoyed, subscribe for more and kick that notification bell for the latest notification. We'll see you guys in the next video.